So we come 3 levels below content teaching or tutoring. If you look at the top of the learning pyramid, content is what the schools teach, or what a parent will do when working with their child with homework, or a Sylvan's or Huntington Learning Center. At Empowered Learning, we ignore content, and we deal with learning 3 levels below. At the foundation is sensory motor learning. We assess the 13 perceptual abilities that are necessary to perform academically, to have the ability to focus and attend, and to perform well athletically. In sensory motor integration, we assess midline balance, spatial awareness, fine and gross motor skills. There is an issue here. Those are your students who have difficulty sitting still, have hyperactivity, can violate space, perhaps have behavioral issues, and as well as focusing issues. Then we measure the visual processing sensors of the brain, not eyesight, but how well the eyes process and deliver information to the brain. If there's a problem here, then the student will delete things when reading, or have problems focusing, paying attention in the classroom, or be reading and all of a sudden daydreaming about something else. We combine these 2 areas together, sensory motor and visual processing, and call it sensory motor learning. We address this in our sensory motor gym. Now the gym is out of the box what we do. The gym is an exact atmosphere that would be the opposite of what you would think for a person with focusing or learning or attention issues. We create a chaotic environment, and through that chaos we teach the students to do these combined exercises that requires multitasking. And when we get them to focus and focus on the details of the exercise while there is chaos around them, they are now able to go into the real world and apply these techniques. Above that, the second level is cognitive skills. Those are brain functions. Now the information gets to the brain, can you process it? Can you relate it to previous learning and use it for future learning? If somebody comes to us and they're poor at math, we don't tutor them in math. We work on the mental abilities that are necessary to process math. And when those abilities are developed, the teacher teaches, and now the child can conceptualize and learn. A quick example, if someone comes to us and they're poor at geometry, there's a reason why they're not understanding angles and area and space when the teacher is teaching it. So what we do is work on an ability called CFT, Cognition of Figural Transformations. Now that's the ability to see any real object like this pen in space and time and see it from different angles. If your brain doesn't have the capacity to manipulate that object in your mind's eye, you're not going to understand angles and area and space when a teacher is teaching it. Once we train you to do this and have your brain have this capacity, now the teacher teaches and you're able to conceptualize and understand. Now these 2 foundational pieces create lifetime changes when you develop all those abilities. And that's what we do at our Learning Center. Now it take anywhere from 3 to 4 months before you start seeing the improvement, up to a year for some students before you even start seeing improvement. Most can be done within a 6 to 8 month period of time. The level above that is learning strategies. Now that's my area of research, brain-based learning neuroscience. That's how the best learners learn. That's what we spoke about before, of how to turn somebody into an intuitive learner. It is here that we see instant results and when we apply these techniques with kids. On my initial screening with the child and addressing the sensory and cognitive issues, I will spend a little bit of time teaching them the spelling strategy. And if it's a 3rd grader, they will learn a word like paradimethylaminobenzoaldehyde. Or a kindergarten kid would learn a word like Saskatchewan, a 12-letter word frontwards and backwards. And that parent will observe their child perform that technique and see instant results. More important, what that parent will observe is an immediate change in that child's confidence, their attitude, and their willingness to learn. And a funny thing I do, after I teach the child the word Saskatchewan or paradimethylaminobenzoaldehyde, there will be another 15-20 minutes that will go by as we discuss the program and whether or not the parent wants to move ahead with the program and when that child learned that word. And as we're walking out the door, I'll turn to that child and I'll say, can you spell that word for me before you go? And as the child starts to spell the word, I'll stop them and say, I'm going to ask you to spell it backwards for me. 99.9% of the time, that student doesn't hesitate, doesn't get scared, doesn't shut down, and will immediately bellow that word out backwards. And what you see is a shocked parent walking out that door because they've never seen their child buy into something and their confidence built in that moment as they witness in that one moment when that child just answers that question. This is what you can do for a child. We have at Empowered Learning a systematic program that develops all these abilities that can transform any student into an immediate learner. This is a great need in the educational market today, to provide families with that gap in the learning process that the school can't provide. Remember, if a child is classified as learning disabled, they don't correct any problems in school, they accommodate the child's problem. They'll give them more time on a test, time and a half on a test. They'll designate them as a 504, needing extra help, resource room, or extra help on a test with questions read to them, or needing time and a half to take that test. I'm going to look at the same child and say, why do you need that help? Why do you need more time? What causes or prevents you from learning it the way that everybody else can? And it is in that moment that when you start to train a student in this ability, that you turn them into a lifetime learner. So as I spoke of before, there are many niche markets. If I were to take the homeschool market, there are 2 million homeschool families today. There's over 4 million children that are homeschooled. That's an enormous market. Many of these students many of these students need extra help. By the way, this homeschool market, the majority of the parents are actively involved on a daily basis looking for different programs or different things they can do at home to help their child's advancement in academics. It is here that we can serve and fill that need. This homeschool market is a very close-knit market. Through organizations and the internet, they communicate very closely. There are many cooperatives. They have other parents teach other parents' kids. They may meet at a church or a school to do this. This is a market that once you find something that works, you share it with everybody else in that market. There is no question in my mind that as we start to make ourselves available to these families, this will go viral. Another close-knit market is the ADD support group market, which is a common thread is that there are learning disabilities associated with ADD. Once again, that when a parent finds something that really works, they share it very quickly with others in this network. A third is the homeschool, the third is the learning disability market. Here again, people meet to go over different techniques and different programs that could help their children. Once again, you find the program that works, you share it with everybody. So there's so much out there